So this is the Garmin Inreach. I've been using this now for about 4 months, testing it out every hike, and this review is going to go over what I found and why I think it's definitely worth getting. In a nutshell, what it is it's a satellite phone that sends and receives text messages. No voice, no phone calls, text messages in the backcountry where you don't have a cell phone signal. It also has some navigation tools built into it that are helpful, but in general I use this primarily to send and receive text messages. Now, why would you want to do that? Well, if you are in the backcountry and you are hurt or in danger, you can send an SOS. There's the SOS button right there. And you will actually get somebody on the other end who will ask you questions and you can text back and forth. So that's very cool because if you are injured or somebody in your party is injured, you can actually get help from a medical professional via two-way text. So you can send the symptoms, you can tell them what happened and get information back on what to do. Now, in more practical terms, I use this to send a text to my family just to let them know that I am okay with this. And for me, that makes it worth its weight in gold. There's not really other devices out there that do this. Of course, once I publish this video, probably 10 will come on the market, but right now you would need a satellite phone or Iridium Go to do that, which are very expensive and the data plans are very expensive. So that's why the InReach is so good. And I definitely think it is worth having in your pack if you are a hiker or outdoors person. It is great. So let me go through some of the details with it. It's an interesting unit. It's pretty easy to use once you spend some time with it, but right out of the box it's a little clunky, so let's take a look. So first, let me talk about the unit. It's a pretty beefy unit. You can see it's got this rubber around the outside. It's durable, it's IPX7 waterproof, and it's rugged, so you can get it wet. You can't submerge it, like 50 feet underwater, but it can get wet, it can drop, and it's fine. It's got a few important buttons. There's a power button up top. This is the antenna. You need a clear line of sight to the sky to use it, just like any other satellite phone, same quirks. It's got these buttons on the front, so it's pretty simple to navigate them. This is sort of a yes button. This is a no or back. These move you around choices. These zoom you in and out. This is a preset button, and this displays a menu. There's also an SOS button. You can see the side here. If you open this up, there it is. So you won't accidentally hit the SOS button in emergency. And that's the other nice thing about this, is if you have it in a pocket, it's the buttons are not easy or prone to being hit. You can see it's definitely a tactile touch to get it going. So that's the unit. Now, this is an evolution of the old Delorme unit, the Delorme Inreach, and you can see here's the Delorme. This is the Delorme versus the InReach Explorer. So Garmin redesigned the casing and changed the buttons around a bit. It's definitely easier to use, and it feels more ergonomic. This sort of feels like a square thing, and this feels almost like a handheld GPS unit. So that's the unit. When you do mount this, they recommend that you mount it high on your pack so that the antenna has a clear line of sight. And one other thing before I start diving deep into the features, there are two models of this. There is the InReach Explorer, which is this one, and there is a unit that's identical to this called the InReach SE, except that it is yellow and it doesn't have preloaded maps on it. So if you're not interested in having maps, then you can go with the SE. I got this. This is only $50 more, and to have the maps on here as a backup in case of emergency is worth the 50 bucks for me. So I'll let you decide what's important for you or not. It's definitely not a tool that I use for navigation. Even though it has the maps on there, it's not great. Hopefully new versions of it will be, but this one is not. But again, if you are in an emergency, your other GPS dies, whatever, you need some information, you have the entire United States on a topo map, or wherever you are in the world, you can load on here, and that's a pretty powerful tool to have for 50 bucks. Same weight, same form factor, everything. So those are the two models, the SE and this, which is the Explorer. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is unlock it, and this is a cool feature because you don't want it going off, or you don't want to hit buttons accidentally. So you have to hit the power button up top, and then you get this unlock screen, and you can just switch to unlock, yes, and there you have the menu. So the first thing I want to show you is the preset messages. Now you can send unlimited preset messages from the unit as part of even the lowest data plan, and I have them set to 3 different things. The first one just says I'm okay. The second one says I'm running late, and the third one says I'm going to hit SOS, please call 911 and tell them everything you know about me. You set these up, like I said, on the website, and then you sync them to the device. You can't change the message and you can't change the recipients, but it's super easy to do. So I'll just hit the button, and now it's sending a text message out. And then when you get a message back, there's my wife saying copy. So my wife got that preset message from earlier, and she sent me a message. So pretty cool. That's all happening over a satellite network. There's no cell phones involved here. A couple other things with messaging. You can send messages from your phone as well, so you can sync your phone with this device using Bluetooth and type on your phone keyboard, which is it's easier. I don't do it much because it's just like another thing to have, and the Bluetooth drains the battery of both devices, so I don't use that much, but you do have it. And you can also enter contacts here, and the contacts that you have are the ones that you enter on the website. And you'll see here messages. I can send a message, there's a new message, or I can reply to people. I can list my recipients in here, and it'll have whatever recipients I have. I can also do contacts. Go over here to the contacts. I have my contacts in there. Here I can type the message, or I can do something called a quick message. Now, this is not a preset. This is a preset piece of text, but it doesn't, it doesn't count as a free message. But I can go here, and I can see all these things, and you define what these are on the website as well, and then sync them to the device. Or I can go in here and type on my own, and it's kind of clunky. You have to go through this little keyboard here and type, and you send a text message. Now, depending on your plan, text messages might cost money. You have to check out your plan, but that's how it is. And then, all right, so let me show you the map. Now, if you have the SE model, you don't have a map. This is only on the Explorer. 50 bucks more and you get maps. And here it's plotted me on the map. You can see where I am there. And I can zoom in and zoom out. Now this is actually an OpenStreetMap. So I have the trails on there. It comes pre-packaged with the Delorme map that doesn't have a lot of trails, but if you go to the website, you can sync a bunch of other maps, including worldwide maps and OpenStreetMaps, and the OpenStreetMaps have trails on them like this, which is pretty cool. But if I want to navigate a route, what I do is I go here to routes, and then I have some test routes. Now I had to create all of these online myself before I actually came here. I can't do it on the device. You have to do it on the website and sync it. There's test route, and then I just hit that navigate button up top, and it will show me the map, and it'll show me that I'm navigating. Now that doesn't really do me much good there, but let me zoom out of this or pop out of this. One other thing I want to explain is tracking. So tracking is a cool feature where you can basically send your position at specified intervals to friends and family, or even make it public on the web or put it on Facebook or Twitter. So I'm going to start tracking. Now here it's just asking me if I'd want to invite friends to this experience. I'm going to say no. And you can see it says the interval is 10 minutes, so it'll send my position every 10 minutes. It's tracking every 1 minute, and it's going. Now if I want to navigate that route I had, it only does straight lines. So if I do a route, I have to do a series of straight lines to do it. And here you can see that's my current heading. I'm heading northeast, and I need to be heading where the green line is, so let's go ahead and try that. Get a little sunlight here. Let's see, there we go. So now I'm pretty much heading the right way. And that's how you navigate on this device. All right, so when I get to the next point here in my route, this compass needle should jump 90 degrees to the left here. Now, just so you know, a route is just a series of waypoints. So unlike other sort of turn-by-turn Garmin units, you're not going to get like an alert that pops up. The unit's not going to power on and say make a right. You need to do that yourself. You can see it just powered off. And we're coming up to the trail junction, which you can see here. And let's see, you can see it says 400 and something feet there. And there's my new waypoint. There's my new waypoint right there. So it's saying turn here. And go for 300 feet to the next waypoint. So if you have a windy trail and it's twisty and turny, you're going to have maybe hundreds of waypoints. So you can see this is not a great option for navigation. It's great as a backup, but if you if you want something to use all the time, don't get this unit. One other thing to note is that you can use waypoints on the device. Now, unlike routes, which you can't create on the device, you can drop a waypoint on the device wherever you are, or you can zoom around the map and drop a waypoint, which is very helpful. And to navigate to it, you just basically navigate to the waypoint and it'll give you a straight line to there. Now, the trails are probably not going to go in a straight line to that point, but you can use it in a pinch, and you can use it to, get a bearing on something or something along those lines. So that's pretty helpful, especially in like an emergency situation. So one of the new features on the Garmin unit is the weather. So it's pretty cool. I use it a lot, especially when backpacking. It's a menu item here, and it works through a text message. Basically, you'd send a text message with either your location now or any location that you specify, and it'll give you a weather report for that. And it only costs what the text message costs for the basic one, or you can pay $1 for a premium or a marine forecast. So here I just requested one, and if I go in here and I can look at it, it gives me the weather for the day, and then I can go into that, and then I can get it in 6-hour intervals here. And then if I go into the 6-hour interval, I get a very detailed weather report. So that's pretty cool. Now when I request one, let's go here, new location, use my location so it'll get a GPS fix. Now I can select premium weather, which will cost $1 or $2, and I can also get marine. And marine only works if you are over water. You will get wave height and winds direction, stuff like that. So let's get the premium one. It's just giving me a warning saying this is going to cost me some money. And let's go ahead and do it. You can see it says it's requesting, and what that's doing is it's sending a satellite text message request out, and in a minute or two I should get the text message with my detailed weather report. Alright, so that was the sign that the request went through, and those will come on, those little audio chimes will happen whether the phone is unlocked or locked. And look, I just got it, so I can go in here, and now I get a much longer forecast, and I can also go in and I get an hour-by-hour forecast with all of the info. So very, very cool. That's weather. Now, just a note on how I use this and battery life and kind of the day-to-day on the way I've been rolling with this. I don't use the tracking. So that's the function where you can turn it on, and at an interval it will send your point out, and it goes to a web page where people can follow you. They can actually send you messages there as well. I don't use that much. I do see that coming in handy in some circumstances, but for me it's just overkill and I don't want to pay for it. I use the presets all the time. I find that it's a nice way to just let everyone at home know that I'm okay, especially because I'm running around on these trails and who knows what can happen. It gives them some peace of mind, and it makes me feel good about doing it. And I've used the I'm going to be late message a few times as well, and that's also helpful. I don't keep the unit on all the time. The battery, it says, if you actually go to the website, I have the details, I don't remember them off the top of my head, but the battery lasts a long time. I think it's maybe 100 days if you turn it off, or 30 days if you just do it intermittently. It lasts forever. I never have to charge this thing. But that's because I use it in a very specific way, and that way is I turn it off. I don't just lock the screen, I turn the unit off, and then if I want to send an I'm okay message, I turn it on, I send the message, and then I might wait to see that my wife got it if I need to hear back from her. Otherwise, I'll just turn it off. And that saves the battery in case I need it for an actual emergency situation. So emergencies. If you hit the SOS button, and there's a screen item too you can hit, or you can hit the button on the side, what happens is it goes to a center called GEOS, and GEOS coordinates the rescue. GEOS works with a lot of different devices. It's not just the InReach, it's a global organization. Well, it's a United States company, but it works globally with rescue organizations all over the world. This unit works all over the world, so if you were, say, in Costa Rica and you get hurt and you click SOS, GEOS will coordinate with rescue, search and rescue in Costa Rica, and they will get you out of there. So that's very cool, and that is included with the device. Now, if you want to get insurance on an evacuation, it costs a couple bucks, not much, something under 20 bucks, I think, per year, and that will cover you up to a certain amount if you need to get helicoptered out or if you have to pay for the rescue. So in some states in the US, a rescue is free. Free for you, not free for the rescuers, free for you, but in other places you might have to pay. So this insurance covers that. And there's also a more expensive insurance, which is, I think, 100 or 200 bucks, that will arrange for a plane to meet you once you've been rescued and fly you back to your home hospital, which is very cool. I don't have that because I haven't been doing a lot of international hiking, but if I did, I'd probably opt in for that, just to come home, have my family around me, and know that I'm getting the best medical care. Now, emergency beacons are a controversial subject. I am 100% for them. I think they are great because if you are hurt, you can obviously signal for help. But the problem is that people use them in times that are not appropriate. So people get a sprained ankle or a upset stomach and they hit the emergency button. And you might think I'm exaggerating, but I have heard all of these things from search and rescue friends, and it is real. So only hit it if you are absolutely sure you need an evacuation, because what you're doing is when you hit that, you're putting other people's lives in danger, the people who come to rescue you. So be sure that you know what you're doing when you hit it. When you do hit the button, the cool thing about this device, unlike like a spot messenger, is that it's two-way communication. So your message will go to GEOS with your GPS coordinate. They will figure out, who to send and who to alert for search and rescue, but they'll also communicate with you. So if you have a medical emergency or anything is wrong, you can ask them questions, and they have search and rescue professionals and medical professionals on staff who will be able to hopefully walk you through whatever situation you're in via a text message. And for me, that and the preset messages are why I have this. I don't have it for the navigation. I never use the navigation. I like having it just in case I need a backup, in case my other navigation options don't work, or in case I need to, my main GPS dies and I'm working off a paper map and I need like a second opinion on where I'm going, my compass direction. Then it's great. But get it for the SOS and get it for the preset messages. That's really where it shines, and the weather's pretty cool as well. There's an old saying that you hear in the military a lot, it's 2 is 1 and 1 is none. And what that means is that you should always have backups. Now, when I go out, I carry my InReach, and I actually use this if I'm doing a hike sort of out of range. I'll let my family know I'm okay. But I also carry this, which is an ACR rescue link. Now, it's a little bit different. They're both rescue beacons. The InReach works on satellite phone network, the Iridium satellite phone network, and it works in about 100% of the world. And it is for text messages, and the SOS and all that stuff works. But in case this doesn't work, I have this unit, and there's a full review of this on my site as well. This is basically thing that does one thing, and that one thing is it signals a rescue. It doesn't work on the same satellite network that the InReach does. It works on something called the 406 megahertz bands, which is more of a military commercial rescue system. And this will actually alert either the Coast Guard or the Air Force or whatever military or rescue jurisdiction you're in, and it will trigger a search through them. This has a GPS in it, so it'll send your signal. You have no idea whether the signal went through or whether somebody's coming or not, but it's nice to have in the pack with my InReach, just in case the InReach doesn't work for whatever reason, or this doesn't work. So here's a little side-by-side in terms of how big they are. The InReach is something you can keep out and use and look at the screen and text. This is something that goes in a little bag at the bottom of my pack and I never touch. I take it out. I have to send it in to get the battery replaced every couple of years, but that's really the only time I use this. I recommend, if you can afford it, to just have both. It weighs nothing, and it's your life you're talking about, so if you're spending a few $100 more to have another way to get rescued, I'm sure it'll be worth it if you ever need it. Now, this unit isn't perfect. Garmin bought Delorme, who made the old unit, and they basically did a little bit of a refresh on it, but it's not perfect. It doesn't work with the Garmin ecosystem of products, so you can't put Garmin maps on here. You can't use this with Garmin Basecamp, anything like that. This is its own little ecosystem of InReach. So, not great. Again, I wouldn't use this as a navigation device. Only in a pinch, in an emergency, it's good for that. I use this to do the satellite communications. The screen's bigger than the Delorme, which is definitely helpful, and it's pretty readable in the sunlight. The menu's a little clunky. It feels like you're going back to like 2008 when you're going through there. Not a big deal. It works. I'd expect Garmin to evolve this and hopefully integrate it into their ecosystem in the future. So if you want a unit that is going to be like everything for you, navigation, SOS, and you don't want to get anything else, you can get by with this unit, but I would not get this for navigation. It's not really a good tool for navigation. Get it for the satellite communications. That's really where this thing shines. Again, this model is the Explorer, and this is about $50 more than the SE. The SE is yellow, otherwise completely the same, and it's no maps, no digital compass, no barometer or accelerometer. So $50 more, you can get that stuff. It's not a huge deal. So that's the device. Go check it out. If you go to my website, I have all the details, so I go into much more detail on all the functions and give you some tips on how to use it, so definitely check that out. Don't go by this review alone. And if you did like the review, you found this all helpful, if you could give me a thumbs up, that will help other people find this review and hopefully get the device and hopefully potentially save lives. So that's that. I'll see you out in the trail.